Going on, everyone? Thank you for clicking into this video. Right now, I have one of our most amazing agents, Alex Owens, here. Alex, if you want to take a quick moment and introduce yourself real quick, sir.
Sure. So I'm in the Naples, Florida area. So Southwest Florida, if you're familiar with it, and been in the business about 3.5 years. And Hamza and his team have done a great job for us. So excited to break that down for you.
Awesome. Thanks for the kind words, man. Excited to be chopping it up with you soon here. But yeah, Alex, I mean, just for those agents that are watching this, I mean, if we kind of think back to when you came on board, what was it that made you even want to like take a shot with us in the first place? If you could give your thoughts on that.
Sure. So part of what I had been struggling with was I was doing a lot of advertising for listing lead gen, and a lot of what I had been trying was stuff based around pay per click, where I was bidding on entire counties. And I'm here in, I say Naples, I'm technically in Bonita Springs, which kind of is right in the middle between Lee and Collier County, which are two of the biggest counties in all of Florida. So it had me covering a huge territory and driving all over the place, and it was lower price points. And I really wanted to start transitioning towards more of a model where I could focus in on specific areas, and hopefully, specific zip codes. And so that was one of the things that really attracted me towards your model, that has that kind of general thought I had has played itself out pretty nicely, just in terms of helping us with the average price point of these leads and stuff like that. So I'm happy to see that plan sort of come together.
Awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that. So just kind of getting more hyper targeted in your specific area, not having you drive out 2 hours out just for
Exactly.
appointments. Awesome, man. And an agent of your stature, you probably tested numerous different methods of lead gen in the past. With those in mind, and you've been with us for a month now. How would we fare up? Like, what are one to two things that we're doing differently that are just kind of like, right up your alley and is in alignment with your strategy so far?
Well, I would say one of the key things is just the amount of people I'm able to get a hold of. The
Nice.
contact information being valid really, counts. I mean, this business is about, the number of people who are thinking about you when they think about listing their home. And some of these opportunities, to anyone who's watching this, to be clear, are longer term, and you've got to, go in with that expectation. Having said that, we've already converted some of these just within our first month, and we can talk about that. But if you have that long-term mindset and you're okay with that, then this is a great way to just get in the door, literally and figuratively, and just start having those conversations to where, hopefully over the long haul, when they think of real estate, they think of you, and you're already pre-positioned in their mind as their go-to person. So so that's been really helpful, is just leveraging my time. Like the number one limiter in this business is you only have so much time. And so you want to make sure you're connecting. Like when you picking up the phone and calling people, you're actually connecting, and that's a valuable use of your time. And that's something that's been really nice to see with this system.
100%, man. That's awesome to hear, and I think that's one thing that you're particularly doing well, and is we launched this thing with your expectations anchored, and like because once you have your objective in alignment, both of us together, you go into these conversations from a different angle as well. So I think with that perspective that you just shared, I think that's key, man. And like you said, moving on to like the juicy question that everyone wants to hear, like how are you doing? Give us a rundown of the battlefield. What went down? You mentioned some conversions as well, so if you want to speak on that real quick.
Sure. So I've had a lot of really promising conversations. Have I want to say I've gone on. I know at least three, but maybe even four in-person appointments, and then two of those have been very promising.
Nice.
One was right there on the edge. She just maybe wants a little bit too much for the condo, because it's in pretty bad shape. But anyways, the other ones are very promising. One we've already actively listed, or
Let's
we're about
go.
to make that live in the next couple of days. We've got the signed listing agreement, and that'll be at 775. So that was pretty exciting to see that one. And that was one that initially I had to, overcome a couple of objections, but we were able to get there. And then we've got another one that I think is likely to turn into business, probably within the next 3 to 6 months. He wants to do some renovations first before we hit the market. But even if that never turns into business with his home directly, turns out he's a financial advisor and a pretty prominent one at that. And has, I went out and met with him and we really clicked. And unprovoked, he's asking me for business cards to recommend clients to. So even if I never end up selling his particular home, that'll still be a very fruitful conversation. And it just kind of speaks to the earlier point of you got to have a lot of conversations in this business. And so that's one of the best things that I would say, I've found about your strategy is just the number of conversations I'm having. And again, they're with people in the right zip codes who, there's a lot more opportunity with those people.
That's awesome, man. That's incredible. First off, congratulations to you, man. I mean, one thing that I always say to my clients is that it takes two to tango. Like yourself and my team combined, we're sort of like a business. We're the marketing and you're the sales.
Yeah,
Marketing doesn't work without sales. Sales doesn't work without marketing. So I mean, kudos to you. I know we were crunching some numbers, but that's just incredible, man. I think we sent over 25 appointments, and out of which you contacted with over 75% of that, which is incredible. Like, I mean, that's the benchmark that you're even above the benchmark. So, and out of those 75%, which is about 18 or 19, you've four promising that you said, four listing or in-person appointments. And then
correct.
from those four, you have two promising, one that you listed already at 775, and then
Yep.
the other one that you're currently working, right? So that's
Yep.
awesome, man. And so you have one at 775. What's the other one that's promising? What price point is that at?
That's actually basically that same exact price point,
Oh,
775.
wow. Okay.
No, actually, I take that back. I think that's in the high eights. If
Oh,
I'm
wow. Okay. So, I mean, even conservatively speaking, you have like about 20K in commission listed active on the market and another 20K that's in the pipeline that's being worked right now. For month one, man, I mean, I would love to consider that a win. How do you feel about that?
100%, absolutely, yeah. I mean, that pays a lot of bills. So, yep.
Awesome.
And if you're doing it right, each listing should lead to a couple more transactions,
Exactly.
as long as you have the right marketing in place and you're doing open houses and things like that. So it's not just the value of that one commission. So yep.
Oh, there we go, man. That's awesome, man. I mean, news like this just pumps me up, and so let's dive deeper into that, right? I mean, incredible job on getting those, getting that one listed and working that other one. To any agent that's watching out there, what would you say are, let's say, like 2 to 3 strategical tactics that have helped you? Number one, with the contact made. And then two, obviously, like getting a converted listing, and then also working your pipeline right now. What tactical advice would you give to agents watching this?
So a couple things. One thing that we've been working really hard on over the last couple of months is a pre-list packet, and we include a bunch of different stuff. I don't really have too much of it at arm's reach, but we've just worked really hard on a brochure that covers what we do on the listing side. Then another example of our property brochures, just some different marketing materials. And then a variety of other things. And so whenever we're talking with someone that seems promising, we send those out in the mail right away,
Nice.
and we've gotten some really good responses on those. So that's really helped us. Another thing for the longer term prospects is setting them up. At that point, it's just basically about staying in front of them, right?
Right.
If you've got someone who is more likely to list 6 to 12 months from now, then you just got to figure out ways to stay in front of them. So we're setting them up on HomeBot. We're setting them up in our CRM has a market update
Boom.
feature where it'll send them the activity in their neighborhood once a month or once every 2 weeks, however you want to set it up. So just little things like that to stay in front of them. And of course, nothing ever beats picking up the phone and actually making contact with them. So I would say those are some of the key things that have really helped.
Hammering the dials, man. You're on top of it. You're on top of it, Alex. I love that, man. Awesome. And so from to anyone watching this and kind of like wondering how it is to work with our team, like we've discussed performance results, just operationally speaking, workflow, ease of use. How well do we kind of fit in with your existing workflow? And how has just support communication between us been so far for you, brother?
Nothing short of world class. I've worked with a ton of different agencies, and there's a broad spectrum there, and you guys have set the benchmark for sure. And I'm not saying that that's not fluff at all. That, I mean that sincerely. You guys, and you in particular, have been
Thank you.
reaching out as though you're a customer service guy. It's like, wow, I'm getting this from the CEO, so it's awesome to see, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
Makes
sir.
a
Thank
huge
you. And
difference.
And it goes both ways, man. Like I said to you numerous times before, you've been an amazing client to work with, so you just make that much more pleasurable to work with, and just reach out to you, brother. So I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that, man. And last question, I kind of just wrap this up in a bow tie, right? To anyone watching this that's kind of on the fence and on the 5 yard line about making a shot and jumping in on board with us, what would you say to them as either words of encouragement or just like figuring out if this is the right system for them?
I would say, anything in business is risky. Every strategy I've ever tried has had some risk to it. And, this is definitely something where when I took a look at, everything you guys were offering, it seemed like it was a shot worth taking. And I can say now that I've been in it for, a month and a half, it was 100%. If I look at all the seller marketing that we've ever done, this has been the most immediate and highest ROI.
Wow.
We've done direct mail in a variety of different formats. We've done like the handwritten, handwritten postcards. We've done regular direct mail where I've sent a couple of postcards into a particular neighborhood every month for like 15 months straight with no results. So, and then I mentioned the pay-per-click stuff, which we actually had pretty decent results with the pay-per-click, but this is just so much more in line with our goals in terms of getting into those right zip codes. And so, yeah, anything is in business is risky. This is a risk that I'm glad I took. So I hope that
Love
helps.
it, man. Love it. Well, perfectly tied up with a bow tie on it. And thank you for the high praise, man. And again, I'll say it again, but it takes two to tango. We're super grateful to have you as a client, and only up from here. We'll keep your zips on lock and make sure no agent gets in here. But
Better.
yeah, man, really, really looking forward to just growing our relationship together and getting you some more close deals, brother.
Looking forward to it. Appreciate
Awesome.
it.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.